Okay, we're on air, but obviously we're not live, so, say whatever you want, say if you want.
I'll just pretend I'm on Sea of Thieves TV and it'll keep me clean.
Welcome to the official, unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast, a podcast dedicated to Sea of Thieves and other rare games, but mainly Sea of Thieves. Today we have possibly the most controversial and spicy episode in recent memory, focusing on our thoughts, feelings, and general ramblings about the closure of Arena. Rare announced during the Sea of Thieves 2022 preview event that they've made the difficult decision to close down the Arena mode within Sea of Thieves, effective as of Season 6's launch. This came as a shock to some, but many also expected the closure of Arena, as Rare has slowed down on support since its inception in 2019 with the anniversary update. We did indeed have a few updates, mainly for Triumph and Sea Dog gear in the Seabound Soul, and the simplification of the mode in Ships of Fortune, but since then, Arena has felt vacant and lacking any meaningful support. And to discuss these topics, I am once again assisted by my wonderful co-host.
Well, it's me, Captain Blubber. I am wonderful, and I am also a co-host. So this episode I am once again taking a back seat, since Shiny Ray will do most of the driving today. But I am looking forward to rant a little bit about Arena, just a little bit. Either way, I'm excited for this podcast.
But not only Captain Blubber is here, we also have a very special third guest.
Is this where I go, yeah?
Yeah, this is when you come in.
How's it going, guys? My name's Yookay. I am a dedicated Sea of Thieves content creator on YouTube and Twitch.
Fantastic. Lovely to have you on, UK. I think it's a long time coming, especially considering what we discussed before with being invited on, but So anyway, before we get into the podcast, just a quick announcement that this podcast is now also on Spotify. You can now listen to us whenever and wherever you want. New episodes will release a few days later on Spotify after they have premiered on YouTube, so go check us out. Okay, so UK, we've got some icebreaker questions for you, just to loosen you up a bit. Take as much time as you need on these, and then we'll move on to the actual main topic. So firstly, let us know when you started your channel and what made you choose to make mainly Sea of Thieves content.
I started the channel, I think it was March 2020. The reason to make the content was, at the time, I was a mod for Captain Falcor, and I would just hop in insiders with him every now and then just to kind of see all the new stuff that was arriving to the game. With that, I was able to see how he approached content, and all the different methods and little tricks that he had done beforehand in order to make his videos. And then from that was the main inspiration, because I just thought, you know what, I could do something like this myself. And I've been playing Sea of Thieves since the early alpha. So my knowledge of the game is, in my opinion, pretty high. So I just thought, I could do something the same as Falcor is, only in my own style. So that's essentially where the inspiration came from to make Sea of Thieves content.
Fair enough. You're definitely not the first person to be inspired by Falcor, and you're probably not going to be the last. So that completely makes sense. Sorry, go ahead, Blubber.
Yeah, that's very interesting. You said you learned little tricks from Falcor, and can you share that to the other content creators out here?
What do you mean, what ideas that Falcor had done, or?
Well, you said he has little tricks for creating his content, for getting it out there, and you say you learned from him. So what did you exactly learn from him?
It was his approach to content before launch. So obviously with insiders, anybody can sign up and we can all get a glimpse into the future of Sea of Thieves. We look into a window of 6 weeks ahead. And whenever I seen how he approaches all of the content before, the actual release, I was able to see how he made and structured all the videos. So when the content then came to light, he was very well prepared. And then from that, he was able to make really high quality content to allow viewers to, in a way, absorb that information without even having to jump in the game. And that was obviously when I had seen him do this and seen little methods, and I had helped him set up little skits and stuff like that. So just seeing how he processed Sea of Thieves on a content form, because I would grind Sea of Thieves quite heavily, but I never thought about making videos. But when I seen the way he did this and he approached content, I thought to myself, well, I could do this. A lot of people can do it. And that's all those little things I had watched Falcor do, and just being in a voice channel and just listening to him, how he how he conducted himself with the content and the ideas, because he would kind of like out loud just talk about different things. He's oh, you know, I could do this or I could do this, and just hearing him do that. Just one day I went, you know what, I'm gonna do this myself, and spent a few days trying to come up with a few ideas for a video, like the first video. And then as soon as that started, I was getting more ideas. And I think when I released my first ever video on YouTube, I had 3 videos already made just because of like the inspiration that Falcor had gave me. And I was always going back and forth with him on the first video. So Falcor actually had quite a bit of input on my first few videos because I was lucky enough that I knew him at the time. So I was really lucky to be able to show him and get feedback before the videos went live. So, you know, I would probably consider myself, in terms of starting content, I was quite lucky in regards to the critiques that I got from my content. But yeah, there a lot. I learned a lot of little tricks from Falcor in order to progress this, you know.
All right, very nice.
Sorry, I'm just writing all that down so I can, you know, get a head start on my content again. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you for answering that so well in depth, really. Definitely a unique story for our guests on here.
Yeah.
So, where does the name Yookay come from? Is there a story behind it?
Yes, but Marvel have the rights to the origin story, I'm afraid.
Is that legit?
Yeah, I'm only joking. No, so the story goes back I think maybe like 1988 or 99. I was young playing competitive Unreal Tournament, which is now known as UT99. I'm way back then. I called myself Ultimate Unreal Killer as a young fella would give themselves a dumb name. And then I remember several years later, I just kept the name Ultimate Unreal Killer. And then whenever I got my first, I had an original Xbox. And then whenever I got an Xbox 360, obviously we can pick our gamer tags. And I tried to use Ultimate Unreal Killer. I couldn't use it because it was too long. I tried the word Unreal Killer. I couldn't use it because of the word killer. So I just abbreviated to UUK. And then that just became the gamer tag. So that became essentially who I was known as on Xbox. And then over the last couple of years with Sea of Thieves, like this is pre-UK, pre-content creation. Instead of calling me UUK, everybody just called me UK for short. Because, you know, why would you call someone UUK vocally, you know? So after a while, everybody was just calling me UK. And then I just glanced at a game called Yooka-Laylee, which is a spiritual successor to, this is actually true, a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. And I grew up around, you know, N64 games and Rare games. And as soon as I seen the Yookay, the Yooka, I just thought, you know, everybody calls me Yookay. I could literally add a Y onto the end of that. And I did. And that's how Yookay, the actual name, came around.
Nice. I was hoping it was related to Yookay, so you make me very happy with that information.
Because it was the pronunciation. Because there's been some people, obviously, if they don't know me or they've never heard the word before, some people say Yookay, and that's completely fine. But it's just because I heard obviously Yookay, and then I just put a Y on, and then just use the same, you know, pronunciation with Yookay to Yooka-Laylee.
Nice. That's amazing. I use a lot of music from the Yooka-Laylee games in my videos, actually.
Can you tell?
No, I love the Banjo-Kazooie. I love Banjo-Kazooie growing up.
I mean, obviously, you guessed it by my name, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Nice. You went from 9 to 11 right now, Yookay.
So on the topic of that, actually, other than Sea of Thieves, Yookay, what's your favorite game of all time?
Out of the 3, so I would originally play. I'm essentially FPS arena player, so anything from Unreal Tournament to Quake Arena. But probably I moved into, before Sea of Thieves, it was GTA. But I would probably say Grand Theft Auto 5. Actually, it's probably one of I probably sank the same amount of hours as I have Sea of Thieves into GTA. So yeah, probably Grand Theft Auto 5, I'd say.
I'm still lamenting the fact we never got a single player DLC for GTA 5. It's just, it breaks my heart, and the fact that Red Dead's not getting it either. Just
as soon as they've seen the money from those microtransactions, I think that's when they went, you know what, GTA Online's working for us.
Hopefully we get GTA 6 in the next 10 years. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Probably 20, maybe. too much money's being made from 5, so or online. Sorry.
If I'm 40 by the time GTA 6 comes out, I'm just not. I will be so pissed off. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with Elder Scrolls 6, but that's for another time. So, if you didn't make content for Sea of Thieves, if it had never existed, what content would you be making now?
It would more than likely be GTA Online content. Before Sea of Thieves was announced, this was even back on 360 when GTA 5 came out, and then Online came out shortly after. I was every night. My evening online sessions were a mixture of GTA Online and The Division a couple of years ago. And then as soon as Sea of Thieves came around, that's whenever I struggled to play any other online game. And then before GTA 5, I would have played Call of Duty competitively. So I essentially went from Call of Duty to GTA 5 Online or GTA Online, and then moved to Sea of Thieves. But if Sea of Thieves wasn't there, I guess I would still be making, or I would be making GTA Online content.
It's funny you mentioned that Sea of Thieves is a game that you can't put down, and I've spoken to a lot of people that when they play other games, they're just disappointed because it's not Sea of Thieves. I think we had this discussion the other day, but yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, Blubber. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I'm still amazed every day that I keep playing Sea of Thieves. Like, it's not as addictive anymore as in the beginning, where you just art about just the sailing and just being very original, this type of game. But I'm still looking forward to it. Like, I'm usually playing the weekends, and I'm looking forward to the weekends to play Sea of Thieves most of the time. So it's amazing that a game can do that. I'm still amazed by it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not just us. There is a lot of people like Foxdie, for example. He struggles to play other games ever since he started Sea of Thieves. So I think I think what's happened to some of us in regards to Sea of Thieves, it's happened to a lot more people than we think. You know.
Such a testament to Rare's game design and world building, I guess, and other things as well. Definitely not hit-reg, but we'll cover that. So, thanks for answering those questions, UK. It's nice to, obviously, we think the guests will all know you, but just in case they don't, you know a bit more about UK now, folks. So, moving on to the topic at hand, we'll move into some discussion points about how the closing of Arena, of the closing Arena and the state of it throughout its lifetime. So, UK, we'll just start with you, being our honoured guest. How do you feel about Arena closing?
It's actually really sad. Whenever the announcement came out, I was somewhat emotional just because I've played Adventure so much. And then whenever Arena 1.0 came out, I played it quite a bit, but not a lot. I still it was a mixture between Adventure and Arena. But then whenever it changed to 2.0, that's when I started playing more. And essentially, I became an Arena player. I slowed down quite a lot on Adventure. The only time I would ever hop into Adventure was to complete new commendations. And then as soon as those commendations were done, it was straight back into the Arena. Because I'm a naval player. I'm heavy on naval in Sea of Thieves. So if it's not naval in Arena, it would be TDMs just to work on my gun skill and aim and things like that. So hearing that news, like we all had, I think, Captain Blubber and Ray, we all had an idea that there was going to be changes made to Arena. Like I thought it was going to be, custom servers, and then whenever custom servers went live, that we had the option to custom Adventure, so you could go in, create your content and things like that in a closed, safe environment. And then we were also going to get that Arena mode within that custom server that you could just basically spawn a custom Arena server, invite players to play against, and then you'd be on your way back into Arena. But whenever we heard it was closing like completely, that's when, because I put so many hours into Arena. The reason I don't play Adventure as much is because Arena gives me that consistent naval every, if you get a good lobby, it's a 15-minute game with a 2-minute turnaround, and then you're back in the action again, you're back shooting cannons. Whereas when it comes to Adventure, it's too slow for me as like I was saying earlier there, I'm a FPS like arena player, Call of Duty, Unreal Tournament, Quake. So that constant action is what I enjoy when playing games. So Arena gives that to me, and then whenever I move into Adventure, you basically spawn at an outpost, and you load up, and then you set sail, and then it could be it could be minutes before you see a ship, or it could be 30 minutes before you see a ship. If you go and you sink the ship, it could be another 30 minutes before you see a ship. So it just wasn't doing anything for me in terms of the action. So that's the reason why I went to Arena so much. And now the fact that it's closing, um, I don't know. I'm going to obviously play Adventure, but it's going to be a massive change for me because I'm not going to get the same action as I once had in Arena. And a lot of players, there are a lot of there's a lot of Arena only players and a lot of Arena main, obviously dipping into Adventure every now and then. But there are a lot of Arena players that are really sad about the decision. You have like NAL champions like Pere and stuff. They were very emotional on the day, really worried about where Sea of Thieves, because these guys play it competitively, like properly in the NAL. And a lot of people were really discerned about what was going to happen to the future of even the NAL or even the possibility of some future Sea of Champions competitive sessions and things like that. So for me, like it's quite heartbreaking because I've been playing this game for 5 years now, and the main mode, like my main mode, is now leaving the game. There's a lot of people out there that don't play Arena, so to them it's just like, oh well, whatever. But like, it's kind of like, what if Adventure was being removed and you were essentially left without your mode. So for me, Arena closing is, yeah, it was emotional on the first day, and obviously over the past few weeks, the Arena population has been absolutely phenomenal. We're getting fast lobbies, we're getting really good games. The skill gap has increased because a lot of good Adventure naval players are coming into Arena to finish their commendations. So obviously it's closing now, but it's made it even worse to see because the way Arena is now, obviously, yes, there is a lot of bugs in Arena as it stands. But this is the way it is now is the way I wish Arena was. I wish it was heavily populated with players. I wish lobbies had fast turnarounds all of the time because we're seeing like a lot of my friends recently. Like I'm going to be helping a shiny red with it. We're going to be going for legendary Sea Dog, but it's just really good to see so many people getting in the naval now. And like I said this, as soon as they announced the closure of Arena, I knew, and I think everybody knew, that Arena was going to be attacked with players looking these commendations. And the sad thing about it is, with so many people going for these commendations, you're going to have thousands of people that are going to fall in love with Arena, and they're going to fall in love with naval. And then as soon as you go back to Adventure, you're going to notice that decrease in player meeting up with other players and stuff. Whereas when you go in Adventure, as soon as you hit your boat, you lift the anchor, you drop the sails, and you just start cannoning immediately. And that's essentially the sad thing about Arena closing is with so many people, the player. I would love to see the figures for Arena over the past since the announcement. With so many people coming to Arena to try and get these commendations, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be like, yo, I wish I got to this earlier. I really wish I played Arena more, beforehand. It is really sad to see. And for me, it will be sad, obviously, whenever season 6 drops, just not having Arena to hop into anymore, because there would be days on my lunch break, I would just put a message in the Discord, anybody up for a few games would hop in 2 or 3 games Arena and go back to work. And that's not going to be there anymore,
Yeah, it's really sad. It's funny what you said right at the end there, where I didn't touch Arena, well, until recently, really, because Blubber, who's one of my main crew members, has finished all his commendations, so he doesn't benefit from that. And essentially, as selfish as Blubber is, I understand that he wouldn't want to play a game mode that he's not getting rewarded for. And, you don't want to do stuff in Adventure that you're not getting rewarded for, like the Siren Shrines. And
that's really, sorry, Ray, but that's really sad too, because we'll come to this later as well. But I love Arena, and I don't even think I'm in the 2% that still plays Arena, but I do want to, but there's nothing there anymore. And again, we'll probably touch this later, but with the events too. Like all the events were focused on arena and never, on adventure and never on arena. And it's like if you put some rewards there in arena alongside the adventure events, then sure, like people like me will play arena again, and you will have that player base that's a bit more stable. But
But
they
that's
never did that.
yeah, that's the thing. So I've been playing a bit with like UK, I've been playing with Lek, and I'm really enjoying arena with a good team and people who know what they're doing. And now it's gone from something that I enjoy that I didn't really get into before. One, because I didn't know it was going to be time gated as so severely as it is. To shit, I need to get my commendations done so I don't miss out on this. But it really does show how much interest there is now that you're time gating content again, that people will flock to these sorts of things. Because once you dangle something in front of someone's face, and you say, I'm going to take it away in 4 weeks' time, people are like, shit, I need to get that done. Adventure can wait. It's sad all round, especially when I've actually got a chance to play it properly. And I think we all agree that, well, we understand it, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best move. So moving on to that, did Arena just deserve more love? Blubber, we'll start with you this time.
Well, yeah, I just touched upon the events, and they should have done that more. But also, and I've said this many times on the podcast, it feels like broken promises, because when they announced Arena for the anniversary update, they also said, like, we're going to continue with Arena the same way we do Adventure, and it's going to get updates, but it didn't really. We got small updates with new accommodations and new rewards, but the game modes didn't change at all. It all stayed the same. Like we have one change when it went from multiple chests to only one chest, and that was nice. But they got rid of the old game mode, which I thought was weird. And the fact is that they never updated it anymore. So the love stopped really early for Arena, and that's, I know, I always felt a bit disappointed by that.
How do you feel about UK?
I felt Rare were half-assed with it, if I'm honest.
Fair enough.
As soon as Jason Cross left Rare, that's whenever, because obviously I don't know what his particular role was at Rare, but he was essentially in charge of Arena. Like I seen him as the guy that was in charge of Arena. I was able to meet Jason Cross while I was at Gamescom a few years ago, and he showed me whenever they had stations set up at Gamescom. They were playing Arena essentially on a closed kind of, like not LAN, but they had those same as Sea of Champions do, and same as the NAL would do. He basically had a laptop, and he was showing me how they set up, these kind of like private quick servers that they can kind of throw boats on and throw players on. So I had that chance very early on of speaking to him about Arena and how it worked in the back end. And then as soon as he left, I thought to myself, yo, this isn't good. Um, and then I remember seeing a job advertisement for the position, and nothing ever came of it. Nothing. I didn't see anything come from that. And I immediately thought, all right, something's gonna happen here. Something's gonna happen here. And then it did. Like things over the past year and a half. There's been changes. Like we've seen a decrease in like Arena server performance. Reduced FPS in some maps. High ping in others. Massive ping spikes. We've seen the chest beam. It's basically been, in regards to the player experience, it's been a vastly degrading user experience within Arena over the past while. And obviously, with the announcement of, I think it was quite a while ago now, they said that they're not going to put any more resources in the development of Arena. That was another one that went, all right, something's definitely happening here. Like I knew very early on when I seen all these. Obviously, if you were to think about Arena or Sea of Thieves from a company perspective, they were internally moving resources around the rest of the company where it needed those resources. And if nobody was there, if nobody was left to look after the Arena, then there was only a few options left. Obviously, we got the worst outcome, which was completely closing it. But yeah, I felt like we've had these conversations about, like, I wanted to ask Ray the question, okay, you're not further developing the mode, but is there someone going to maintain the mode, just to keep it on, at least keep it active and keep it working, just so people could use it? Because then we were starting to see the beam bugs where you would see the beam at an island. You would go, somebody would dig it up and bring it back to the chest, and then you would continue to go to the island because the beam was still showing. And then you only got onto the island to see someone's dig spot, and a beam just disappear in front of you, and then appear on a ship. So there was loads of little things like that, and it felt like Rare, just because they didn't have the resource, it felt as if they didn't care about it anymore. Whenever they kept saying, like, obviously 2% of people play it, like, I think they were referring to 2% of active players. So if, let's say, if there's 100K players in any given week, 2% of those players are playing Arena. And I feel that they were using, I do feel, obviously I don't work for Rare, I don't hear any internal news, but it feels like they were using this low number to kind of help the fact that they wanted rid of it. And then now that they're removing it, I guess they're probably a bit happier about it, because they don't have to use a single resource anymore on Arena in any way. Because, I remember some of the NAL matches, even a few weeks ago, the entire mode would go down for them. They couldn't get custom lobbies. They couldn't get anything working. And I remember hearing through Discords that there was people having to jump in and quickly make a few changes just to make the mode work for them. And then now it's completely closing. So it just feels like Rare have gotten what they wanted in regards to not wanting to put resources to it. But I do feel it could have used so much more love. And but again, we don't even know if the right people were looking at it. We don't know, if the right people were looking at Arena, would Arena still be here? Obviously, as a company, Rare have to, the heads of that company have to move resources to where they feel is necessary. But yeah, I would love Arena to still be here for a very long time. But sadly, that's not the case.
Yeah, sorry, Blubber, quickly. It's just such a shame. It deserved more love. I think you could have experimented with game modes, Battle Royale, Last Ship Standing, all that crap. But they just, they dug the grave and they threw the shovel in with it. That's the attitude I get from them. There's obviously reasons behind the scenes why they've done that, and I won't claim that I know better than someone who gets to see all this data. But yeah, it just deserved more love. What were you going to say, Blubber?
Yeah, do you guys feel it's a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sadly,
absolutely.
yes.
Yeah, same.
So moving on to the next topic, how will we look back at Arena? I'm going to be quick here and just summarize my thoughts. I like the fact they tried Arena, but when I look back on it now, and a lot of the stuff that's coming into the game, I feel like, could we have had it earlier if they weren't working on Arena? Because they had this idea of putting in Arena and they had to allocate resources to it. I sort of feel like it's a bit of a pain in the ass, considering they put time and resources in it only to give up on it, and Adventure hasn't really profited from Arena being a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
It's just, it's what could have been an Adventure if they didn't go for Arena, or what Arena could have been if they actually put the resources in. So it's like we've got the worst case scenario at the moment.
Yeah. I would have loved to know how Arena would have been. Even now, like, whenever Arena was updated, people called it 2.0. Would we have had a 3.0 or a 4.0? Arena had obviously you have the circle in Arena, and, if you go too far, you hit Red Sea, same as you do in the normal map. So I guess, in regards to what you were saying before, like a Battle Royale, if Rare have this, if they were able to make a circle, Red Sea, were they able to close this in regards to kind of a Battle Royale mode? I don't know. I feel like, obviously Rare are testing a lot of Last Ship Standing at the moment. But I do feel Last Ship Standing will be coming at some point in the game. I feel Rare have the technology to do so. But for me, looking back on Arena, it will always be positive. A lot of people shrouded Arena with negativity and toxicity, but we were all able to see what was going on in open comm lobbies. The exact same thing goes on in open comm Adventure. It's just everybody in Arena, sadly, is an enclosed space. If you were to put everybody in Adventure in an enclosed space, the exact same thing would have happened in Adventure. You're able to call someone a name in both modes. But even whenever they closed the open communication open mics within Arena. Obviously there was reasons given why that was the case, but and for my experience, it was always, I always really enjoyed it. Even whenever it closes and I look back on it, I'll be able to look back on 3 legendary seed. That's the amount I've played. I've almost finished 3 legendary Sea Dog accounts just because I played Arena so much. So for me, there will be very minimal negative thoughts if I was to think about Arena again.
Fair enough. Blubber?
Yeah, I will look back fondly. Like some of my favorite plays I did in the game came from Arena. Plus, the first time I got recognized as a YouTuber was also in Arena, so I always remember that.
bit of a biased memory there, but I'll give you that.
Yeah, a little, but it's fine.
So, just to touch on this, NAL will be more difficult going forward. Obviously, there's going to be an effect on how it's run and the popularity of it, or maybe not the popularity of it, but how big an impact do we think that's going to be?
Well, at the moment, I say it will be quite a big impact on NAL, but I do think they'll bounce back. They've already announced how they're going to bounce back. I think it's in the form of 1v1s. Whereas before, obviously you have 5 crews that are fighting off each other. You have a lot of crews currently in Alliance events, which is the me and Scrim Discord for up and coming Arena teams that want to participate in the NAL. And now it's going to a 1v1 system. So I haven't looked too much into what the exact mode itself. Obviously, I have a few friends that are within NAL, then they're looking at it, but I haven't asked too many questions. Once they get everything ironed out, I think the NAL will be able to bounce back. I do not think the popularity will be brought down. I think the popularity of the NAL will get better, just because now, if they are moving to when they are moving to 1v1s, a lot of people are going to want to get in on this as well. And fingers crossed that they receive continued support from Rare, or with Sea of Thieves, in order to allow them to push forward with the direction that they want to take the competitive mode.
Yeah, that is a big concern, the support from Rare. Yeah, it's brilliant that it's nice to have someone who knows how the NAL works, and the fact that you've come back and you've confidently said that popularity is probably going to get better and they're going to adapt to it is nice for anyone who's a fan of competitive Sea of Thieves. Blubber, anything to add, mate?
Yeah, well, I wasn't aware that they were thinking of options for 1v1, but I'm all for it because it's also better for the viewer experience, because NAL can be a bit hectic to watch, but 1v1 is a bit easier, so that's only a good thing, I think.
That's an interesting point. If it's 1v1, I might actually poke my head in the door and see what's going on, really. Especially when I'm writing a script. Oh, NAL's on. I can put that on in the background, see what's going on. But yeah, it's encouraging to hear that. It's almost like a silver lining to the grey cloud there. Anything else to add, either of you?
No.
No.
I think I'm good with that one.
Okay, so we've had the announcement that the ship sets are being awarded to anyone who got to level 5. So it's the Flaming Jackal, help me out here, the Lucky Rover got 2. Yookay, you're gonna have to help me out with the names here.
Zoo Scout.
As a scout.
Can't actually think of the names at the moment since you put me on the spot.
Okay, right. So the basic 5 colours are being added to Adventure for anyone who got to level 5 Sea Dog. And if anyone got to level 50 before they announced the closure on the 27th of January, you get the Good Boy set. How do we feel about cutting off the Good Boy set immediately with no warning?
Wait, so if you got level 50 on the date they announced the closing, you were in for it, right?
Yeah, if you get it now, but after the closing, after the announcement on the 27th and the closing, you don't get the Good Boy set.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
My opinion on it all is, so for me, I have multiple Arena accounts. I have 3 accounts that were all level 50. So I'm going to have 3 accounts that have the Good Boy. But whenever it came to the decision, I would like to think my decision lies with everybody. A lot of people didn't actually realize this, but whenever Sea of Thieves premiered that episode on YouTube, the way when you set your content to premiere, there's like a 2-minute countdown.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that people didn't actually realize is when you were watching that live, okay, and you seen the 2-minute timer start, you see the second that went from 2 minutes to 1:59 left in the countdown, you didn't even have a chance. No, and nobody even knew. For me, yes, I had them. I don't have to worry about it. The fact that someone else doesn't get it never affected me because I've got it. But I would have liked the player base to at least have had a chance to begin with. I understand that I understand cutting off and then you're rewarding everybody with the good boy because you've been a part of it for X amount of time and you're already level 50. I understand. Okay, we're cutting it. Here you go. Here's your reward for being a part of this beforehand. But the thing was, the announcement came days before Community Day, which was going to hit a 3.5 times multiplier. I wish they would have, during their announcement, I wish they would have said, look, our Community Day is days away. We're going to have a 3.5 multiplier. Community Day was it was a 24-hour period that was going to end at 9:59 a.m. on the following Monday. So it was only live for 24 hours. It would have been really good for them to say, look, you basically have to get level 50 in Arena for 10 a.m. on Monday. And then that's it. You can't get it anymore. I would have least, because I have them all. It didn't affect me in any way. But I would have just liked the player base to have a chance to earn it because, they didn't even know. They had no clue. So like I can see where a lot of anger came from, but I can also see where a lot of people were saying, look, I have been dedicated to the arena. I'm glad we get this ship set. And if you wanted the ship set, you should have played. You had X amount of years, you should have played. But that is the case. That's actually a fact. But I would have just hoped for at least somebody to have a chance because there are so many people. I remember Azuki, another Sea of Thieves partner, she was one of them.
I was going to bring it up. Yeah, I was going to bring it up.
She posted an image on Twitter. I think she was like, was it 49 and a quarter?
It was 49 and like 2/3, maybe 3/4.
I felt so bad for her because that's like 4 games of arena. She would have got that in 4. That's like an hour and a half of wins. So I stand with my opinion is they should have been given a chance. That's it. Just a chance, even if it was because the announcement came out on a Thursday. So if they would have said, look, it's going to the end of Community Day, they would have had the rest of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday morning in order to try and get the 50. As long as they had a chance, that's just where my opinion lies on that matter.
Cool. So on the topic of exclusive weapons, the Pirate Legend weapons, so the ones you get for Legendary Sea Dog, they won't be available anymore because the combinations are being removed. Do we think they'll come back in any shape or form?
So once they remove them, they're essentially removing part of the Pirate Legend family. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you've got, once you hit Pirate Legend, you unlock the clothing and a few other things. And then obviously you have to do there's certain commendations in Arena that you unlock, like parts, certain equipment. And then there's obviously Legendary Sea Dog, which you unlock, like the sniper rifle and the sword. So removing it completely, it will essentially limit the Pirate Legend, cosmetic family. Sort of like you could look at it one way, like kind of like Obsidian, or Black Dog, the Black Dog cosmetics. A lot of partners have access to Obsidian 6-packs and capstans. And then, of course, you have the Banjo, which was only available with the Design by Humans purchase of a shirt many years ago. But I think, I don't know, I think they won't. I kind of want them not to come back because at the moment, like I was saying and with the previous question, they should have given people a chance. Where currently people have a chance to earn these cosmetics. Like Arena closes 10 a.m. on March 10th. So you can still play. You can grind as much as you want in an attempt to get kills for your glorious or triumphant weapons. And then you can go all the way and grind until Legendary Sea Dog. And then once you hit 240, you can unlock the sword and the sniper rifle and the blunderbuss. So currently, as it stands, you have a chance. So because players have a chance, if they're not going to take that chance, I guess that is on the player. So once people unlock it, it's a big grind for some players. I think 240 wins, excluding lobby time, is 60 hours. So it's a big investment. So I don't want the cosmetics to return just because they have had a chance. They have been given a date. They're well aware of the date. But if you were to think of it as a cosmetic family, of the Pirate Legend cosmetics, they could bring them back in some form down the line, because obviously there's a lot of hints out there that, we're going to have more Pirate Legend content. So with the removal of Arena, you're essentially removing some Pirate Legend weapons. And with extra Pirate Legend content down the line, they could, it's rare they could reskin them for all we know. That is a very popular thing they do. So I think down the line with more additions to Pirate Legend content, it is possible for them to return in some form just to maintain the Pirate Legend, equipment, weapons, all that kind of stuff. It would make sense. But at the same time, they're going to be removing certain parts of Pirate Legend cosmetics, But I don't know. I say I want them not to return, but I feel they will return in some form.
That sounded like I was from the West Country then. Fair play. Blubber, how do you feel about this?
Bit similar. Normally I have this stance like if you weren't there, too bad. But like Yookay said, that they're part of the standard set, like the family of Pirate Legend cosmetics. So yeah, I kind of feel like they should come back. I feel different about the other Sea-Dog cosmetics, like the cannons and the figurehead. Like those were part of Arena. If you were part of Arena back then and you earned those, that's your story, and those are the cosmetics that are attached to that. But I'm a bit more lenient to the Pirate Legend weapons because they are part of a set. And I mean, a Pirate Legend is not a Sea-Dog, right? So it's a different faction. So I think they should be available later.
I don't think they should be available later at all.
Yeah, so what Captain Blubber was saying, I am a huge fan of time limited cosmetics. I was a huge fan of them before because it gives you that sense of like Blubber was saying, like I was there, and then down the line when the game, because I do feel Sea of Thieves is currently more popular than ever. I do feel with season 6 coming, it will get even more popular. And then down the line, if they are going to introduce some fantastic Pirate Legend content, it's going to make current new players grind for Pirate Legend to access this new content. So I feel whenever Sea of Thieves gets even more popular, it is very nice. Let's say in 2 months' time, let's say in a world where they're not going to bring back the LSD weapons, in 6 months' time, you can flex that legendary Sea-Dog sniper, and you can say, I was there for Arena, I was there till the end, and people can kind of look and say, oh, I wish I would have done that, But that's like, don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of time limit cosmetics just for the fact that you can flex,
Yep.
Yeah, I just don't think they should come back because it's a big grind to get those weapons. It's 240 wins as a Pirate Legend.
Yeah.
So, when you have those weapons, you should have them to say, I was there in Arena as a Pirate Legend, I got 240 wins. Not that I bought 100 Athena Voyages or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It should just be that. Rare does flip-flop when it comes to exclusivity. Recolors are a different ball entirely, but these should stay exclusive, regardless if they're part of the set. If you didn't get them, then tough tits. I'm likely not going to get them. I just want the achievements from Arena mainly. If I get them, I'll be happy. If I don't, fair play to everyone who did the grind. They deserve them. I don't in that case. So anything else to add, guys?
No, nothing from me.
So we spoke about the population before, so it's very obviously spiked. So we'll gloss over that point. And we actually mentioned a competitive game mode with last ship standing, so that might be a thing in the future, considering they're testing it out. So I'm just conscious of time. How do we feel about the possibility of Sea Dogs in Adventure? Do we think that's going to be a thing, or do you think they'll introduce a new PvP faction to Adventure to sort of fill that void?
I hope it does. I hope Sea Dogs transitions into Adventure. I hope, because obviously we have the entire middle of a map that's dedicated to Sea Dogs. Seeing the red and the glorious and the triumphant cosmetics. I don't know how they would do it. Obviously, there's a lot of Falcor's had videos on Captain Hook, and then the fact that he wears red and stuff. So it would be kind of cool to see them move the Sea Dog faction into Adventure as like the main PvP faction, because obviously Reapers is a complete shamble. Ever since a Pirate's Life, we've had an influx of new players that just throw a single flag up, thinking they can get all the money, not even realizing that that's actually a PvP faction. So it will be good because obviously Sea Dogs is set in stone in Sea of Thieves that it is the PvP faction, that it is 100% PvP orientated. So I'm all down to see the introduction of Sea Dogs in Adventure.
I think correct. Well, obviously you wouldn't be able to correct me unless you've seen the tweet. I'm pretty sure someone asked Mike Chapman if Lacidi and DeMarco will be helping the Pirate Lord in his war against Flameheart, and he responded with the eye emoji. So I think they'll be part of the story that's coming up in the next year or so. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it would be nice to see the Sea Dogs, as you said, implemented. At least the tavern would be nice because it's such a beautiful part of Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
And they should be brought in as a faction that's a foil to Reapers where they're pure PvP. They're literally Reaper Hunters. That would be a lovely way to implement them into the game, especially with all the cool NPCs, the aesthetic, the sort of Sea Dog attitude. It shouldn't just be tossed in the bin. Blubber, do you want Sea Dogs in Adventure?
Yeah, I really would like that. I also want them to, take their time to think about it so that it really feels different compared to the other factions. Like, not, oh, Sea Dogs are here, you do the same accommodations. Like, no, just make something else about it. I know Fuzzybond had some ideas about this in the podcast that were quite interesting. But also, I would like to be able to get to level 75 or level 100 with Sea Dogs. Because I don't want that to be the only one that's stuck at 50. No, crank that up. I want it.
As long as you're comfortable with 100 grind to Hunter's Call,
Just can we just remove Ray from the podcast now?
Remove
no
what?
fishing. No more fishing. No more fishing, please.
Megalodon hunts and Kraken hunts, and we'll be fine in an emissary, but no more fishing, please. I'm like 43 and I've still got loads of fish to catch. It's not fun. Not. So yeah, just moving on. Podcast. Have you guys listened to it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Yookay?
The official one, right?
No, sorry. The second best podcast.
I've listened to certain sections just on hit-reg and things like that.
Right. So server improvements are meant to be coming. We don't know what the tick rates are at the moment, but they're looking at improving that. Obviously, go listen to the podcast. Blubber put in the description. It's really interesting if you're into that sort of techie, nerdy bit of Sea of Thieves, but there's some good information in there that you need to understand about hit-reg and server performance. But the most important thing, in my opinion, was hit scan is looking to be tested for the guns.
Yeah, I think that's huge for the game.
That's
if
huge.
It's done correctly.
If it's done correctly, it will make the game a lot more seamless. It will make hit-reg better. It probably won't fix it because it's a server issue and the amount of content in the game has an effect on that. Look at the terrible rubber banding we had in Season 4. I just, I think if hit scan is the way they're going to fix it, we need some weapon balancing to go with it, because if that happens, I will be using pistol and Eye of Reach and nothing else, because they'll be so powerful. How do you guys feel?
I'm excited to see. What they're going to be doing. Obviously, it's been a hot topic within a lot of Discords at the moment, but yeah, like there's so many issues in the game at the moment that people don't realize. Like, it's one of the reasons why I call the sword in Sea of Thieves Cloud Strife's Buster Sword, because you can slash someone at the other end of the map and you'll still reg them.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be down to the fact that you're backtracking literally everybody. That's the reason for the range.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna improve the server performance, for me, I have a gigabit line at home, and when I play games like Call of Duty or Valorant, my ping, when I'm connecting to their servers, my ping sits in around 10 to 15. It's very low. So my obviously they have like much higher tick rate servers. Public CS:GO, I think 60. Faceit servers are 120. Valorant servers base are 120. Nobody knows what Sea of Thieves is. I think that's. I think that I don't actually think anybody really knows, other than Rare themselves, what the tick rate of their own servers are. But if they're going to tell us there's going to be server performance, we could see a much lower ping. With hit scan, it could, the ping could clean up hit registration, and hit scan could improve the player experience with gunfights. Even the likes of TDMs. If anybody, even any of your listeners play or play TDMs, you literally go every other kill going, oh, reg, oh, reg, oh, hit reg, hit reg. It's so common. And I am all down for if they basically all I care about is do what you can to fix hit reg and give us a cleaner player experience. And whatever it is you do, if it makes this experience so much better, I'm happy. That's it's just simple. If your changes are going to make the game better to play, I'm happy.
It's a good attitude to have going in. I think it's best to keep an open mind on this. When I first heard hit scan, I was like, fuck, the weapons, the guns are going to be so powerful now. Rare might fix that. But I think I would lean on the side of you, UK, if they do improve the game's experience as a whole. Yeah. Like yesterday, I was complaining. I'm a big sword user. I was complaining about the fact that if I sprint away from someone, they should not be able to stun lock me with their sword, and then I have to turn around and block. Like every game now we play, there's some sort of backtrack server issue or rubber banding, and I love the game, but it makes it frustrating to play. But yeah, sorry, tangent a bit there. As you got to go in with an open mind with these things. I do think Rare will fix it in the next sort of 2-3 years. That's the time frame I think we'll have. But yeah, Blubber, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, just a question for you guys. Do you think that if they were to move to hit scan, do you think it would negatively impact Xbox players?
Yes. Well,
it's possible, yeah.
Actually, no. I think Xbox and controller players are already at a disadvantage because there's no aim assist at all, which is crazy for a first-person game with guns. I wouldn't call Sea of Thieves a shooter per se.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why a lot of you get a lot of really like high skill. Like a lot of people kind of they downplay some controller players in regards to skill, but there's a lot of controller players that have actually won NAL. There's a player Alexi. He is one of the 7 players in the world to own the NAL seals, the Sea of Champion seals, and the Golden R seals. So there are highly skilled controller players out there, and the fact that what makes them high skill is obviously their skill with a controller, but the fact that Sea of Thieves doesn't have auto aim, like Halo or Call of Duty, they're essentially playing with a free aim, and they're able to be fantastic, double gunners, so I'm not too sure how it will affect Xbox players, even older Xbox players, like older Xbox Ones, but it would be really good to see how it affects everybody and not just, PC players.
Interesting. Wasn't the first Sea of Champions winner an Xbox player with a controller?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So it's doable. I play on controller. I'm better than Yookay, and he's a sweat NAL champion. So, it can be done. No, besides the point, yeah, Blubber, that was a really good thing to bring up. Controller players are at a disadvantage just based on how the controller is, and there's no aim assist. It might make a difference. For me, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
If they do improve it, we're either gonna see how good we really are or how bad we are. If it does improve, that's what it's gonna be. Yeah, no more backtracks. If you miss your shot, you miss the shot. You're not going to be rewarded with a kill if you're going to backtrack where somebody was, on their server, 300 milliseconds ago.
Of course, yeah. Sort of before we move on to our quite big final main topic, anyway. Anything else to add on the whole idea of hit scan and server improvements? Anything they discussed in the podcast, really?
Oh, can't wait to test it, Insiders.
Yep, looking forward to that. Can't
wait to test it in season 10. Just, oh god.
Well, they did say in the podcast, they said they're looking to try some things, and I can't remember who it was. I would have to rewatch so I could correctly paraphrase, but they said something like, we're testing this, but we're more than likely going to keep this. So it kind of, when I watched that bit in the podcast, I thought, okay, have they already tested this internally and then know it works? So just off that, I was happy enough with what they said.
I think they did say they tested it internally and it will be making its way to insiders. When that is, we don't know. Depends what Rare prioritizes in the run up to season 6 or season 7 in June. I don't think it will be till latter half of the year, but again, we'll see what Rare pull out of the bag.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a big one, and this is something I think many of us have noticed. Rare really don't like advertising PvP, and it's been the case for the sort of, season 3. That's where I'd put it. And as a story and lore fan, I'm even seeing this. I think there's an encroachment of PvE and story-based content, especially in the marketing and the updates as a whole. You look at Season 6 with, we know it's Pirate Legend Voyage, and we know there's the forts, which are PvE content. There's little in the way of PvP improvements. We know Rare sort of have a bone to pick with it, as we've been discussing the whole podcast, but do we think Sea of Thieves or new Sea of Thieves players are sort of being sold a lie when it comes to what this actual game is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Good.
Yeah.
We're unanimous in that decision. I'll go first, and I'll be really quick with this one. This game was always marketed as a PvPvE game before launch. They really made a big deal of the fact that it's a shared world adventure, new and interesting ways, whatever Mike Chapman said. We get this right up until, I'd say, even Season 2 with Fort of Fortune saying, like, this is a big world event. We want people to fight over this. We want it to be like forts on day one. And then fast forward to just under a year later, you struggle to find where they're talking about PvP on their website and in these trailers. And people come in, they play the game, they go, oh yeah, Jack Sparrow and co, Davy Jones, we get to do these tall tales. And then they get sunk by its day one players, and straight on Reddit, PvE servers, I just want to chill on this game. And people turn around and say, that's not this kind of game. And then they're like, no, you're just being a dick, you're toxic, etc.
Yeah.
I think Rare's made a rod for their own back here, and I don't think it's up to the players to teach other players what this game's about. I don't know.
Well, I do think that as a player, as an experienced player, you do owe it to yourself to be a bit more lenient against the day one players that have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Yeah, it's all right to sing them. That's according to the game's rules, that's fine. But I feel you owe it to yourself to be a bit more lenient.
Is it not better that we sync them as very friendly people and we just take the loot and it's not personal than some twats that call them slurs and tell them to uninstall and spawn camp them?
Obviously.
Because if we don't, then that sounds really bad. If we don't teach them a lesson, they'll get a harsher lesson down the line and then they'll uninstall. No, Robbie, you're correct.
Blubber is correct in what he's saying about, in regards to like new players, like, I'd like to think a lot of experienced players in Sea of Thieves, we all have our moral rules when it comes to Sea of Thieves. Like, I don't attack every boat I see. I have my own personal rules. If I go to board a boat, if I attack a ship and I board and I see they're on a tall tale, I will help them patch the boat back up again and then send them on their way so they can enjoy that experience. Because as a player, as someone that's been playing this game for probably nearly 5 years, I am not going to get any enjoyment out of killing someone that got an Xbox Series X for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? With Game Pass. Yeah. I am not going to ruin that experience. So I'll be like, you know what? Right. Sorry about this. We'll patch you up and go into your tall tale. Even ships sitting at outposts. Everybody can tell if you've played this game for any amount of time. If you look at an outpost and you see a plane ship, they've just logged in. We don't attack ships that have just spawned. That's just, let them get up and going, let them sail. If they throw a Reaper flag up, they're fair game. If they throw any emissary flag up, they're fair game. It's just, even if you're seeing a boat is full of loot and you see them like, no offense to other Xbox players, but you see players with like, really slow movement and you could almost hear a door creak when they spin and look at you. You just know you're not going to get any enjoyment out of it. You just, what? We're going to let you be just because, what is the point of sinking you? What is the point of ruining someone's game experience? Because, as a huge, like, Sea of Thieves has been a massive part of my life. I have spent thousands of pounds on the Emporium, thousands of pounds on like actual merchandise that's on shelves in my living room. I am not here to ruin someone's game experience of a game that I love so they can go, a week later, here, do you want to play Sea of Thieves tonight? No, that game's crap. I want to essentially give, and that's why a lot of you see a lot of content, even the likes of Boxy Fresh, when they speak with players in game, they find a dad and a son. That's why a lot of people enjoy this content, because you get to see like a lot of other players that play the game, and giving them a good experience in regards to new players is that, you know, a lot of people enjoy that, but when it comes to Rare letting players know about what type of game it is, like not having I still think that Rare have not done the emissary system correctly, because a lot of people just see this Reaper's mark, or this Reaper flag, as, you know what, I'm gonna do this entire event and I'm gonna sell all this for lots of money, and then they get sank. You know, I was with Foxdie maybe a month ago, and they were doing a Fort of Fortune, and we attacked them, and the guys were like, "What are you doing? Do you not want to help us?" And we were saying, "No, you've got it. You're a Reaper grade 5." And they're saying, "Yeah, but you can help us." And we were like, "No, but you're a PvP faction." And they tried to tell us. They tried to tell us that the PvP faction was, do you know, the OG flag?
The
OG Reaper flag.
Yeah.
They tried to tell us that the PvP faction, or the PvPers, they raised the OG flag, and that the Reaper flag was for them to make more money. That's what they told us. Like, there's a VOD, there's clips and everything of that happening, and me and Fox, we couldn't believe it, you know? So I think Rare could do so much better with the Reaper system, and letting new players know. It's like, okay, look, before you fly this, you're going to be marked in the map. Like, I've had to show several players over the past couple of months. Like, I said, look at the map, look at your map. You know, we can see you. The entire server can see you, you know? And they were like, oh my God. And then they were taking the flag down because they didn't want to be seen. But yet it was up. So it maybe it needs something like, if you press F or X to raise a Reaper's flag, there's a quick warning, like, you know, blah, 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 PvP, insert sentence here that you're going to be seen in the map. And I do feel that Rare could do a little bit better with the PvP element, because this is an open world. It's a PvPvE game. They could do a bit better with letting PvE players know that, look, you like PvE, you want to relax, but you might be in a server with people that just want to sink your ship, you know? And I don't think that's done correctly as is.
Did you let them know when they said that this flag is to let us earn even more money? You should have said, no, that flag is to let us earn even more money, not you. So we're going to take it from you now.
It was a really weird experience, because you're taken back, because you're always playing against, like we would always play Arena with other PvPers. We always play the game with other players that understand the game. And then whenever you come up against this, it's like you're just splashing yourself in the face with water, and you're kind of saying, oh, you know what, come back to reality. And just, you have to remind yourself that there are people that just got Game Pass 2 days ago, and then they have no idea about what this game is. And they're basically sailing around with a grade 5 Reaper, not realizing that, you know, the entire planet can see them on the map, you know? So
yeah,
maybe Rare could do something more for new players in regards to the PvP side of the game.
Yeah, just show people more the PvP side of the game in the marketing. When you go to throw out your PvP flags, etc., you've hit the nail on the head there. At least in my opinion. Bubba?
And the update videos too, right? Like, if they say, oh, like these silent shrines are so beautiful, it's more lore, but be aware, because you're also leaving your ship at tent, and then there are other players that don't play very nice. Like, mention that in your update videos as well, and then people have an idea what it is.
Yeah, because they don't realize either that if you have an emissary flag up, let's say it's a grade 3, if you're a grade 5 Reaper and you're trying to sink a grade 3 gold hoarder, they don't realize that a flag, that single flag, is worth more than a single piece of loot. Obviously, you've got like Ashen Skulls, and you've got other higher value singular items. But when it comes to Reaper, in terms of emissary value, you know, some of the highest emissary value for a single sale comes from flags, obviously because it's a PvP faction, but they don't know this. And I'm sure everybody here has been like, you know, you've went to sink a ship and they've got nothing aboard, and they go, we've got no loot, leave us alone. And then you're like, you have a grade 5 Reaper, give us your flag, you know? They don't understand that the flag itself is a piece of loot. And that's another thing that maybe they could be informed with is, look, number one, this is how the Reaper faction works. Number two, if you fly this flag, this is loot, you know? This is loot for this faction, because obviously people know if you have a captain's chest, you sell to the gold hoarders. A lot of people don't know that, you know, this flag is worth a lot of emissary value to the Reaper's faction. And I think that just needs addressed just a wee bit more. So a lot of these new players that, you know, because obviously Game Pass gets bigger with each game that's added, like Halo and all of the future Xbox content. Like, look at the Activision deal. down the line, eventually we're going to get given Call of Duty and someone's going to get Game Pass and they're going to see Sea of Thieves and they're going to hop in and say, oh, this is open world game. Oh, wait, this is PvP and PvE. If they have a better understanding of what they're getting into, it allows them to kind of assess, are they going to enjoy this type of game? Because I'm not really a fan of RTS games, so I kind of stay away from them. But because I know what happens in the games, it's just not something I enjoy. But if a player was to know kind of beforehand when they're starting Sea of Thieves, when they press A on their Xbox to start Sea of Thieves, that they know, right, anything's a go here, that would be like a really good win for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going back to what I was saying, it's not our job to educate people on Reddit and Twitter about what this game is. It's the devs. Okay, so Blubber, do you want to do the viewer comments for us?
Yeah, sure. Messages in the bottle. That's where our subscribers put their own input in. If you want to do that yourself, you can go to the Salty Hippo Discord. Link will be in the description. Every time we're about to record a podcast, I will ping you, and then you can submit your questions. Arena is not a very popular topic, since I only got one question this time, and that question comes from Anders X10, and he asks us, how do you feel the CDOC cosmetics should be handled in the future? Should Rare use them, for example, tied to new PvP achievements, or maybe leave them as the original CDOC skins? So how do we feel about CDOC's cosmetics in the future?
Any sort of glorious or triumphant CDOC cosmetics should just stay exclusive. Bring recolors out for new PvP achievements, but leave what is in Arena in Arena.
That's my standpoint as well. Like if or when they bring CDOCs to Adventure, we have a red and we have blue. There are other colors they could go with. They could go with black or, green or whatever they want to do. But it'll be really good in terms of, I don't even know if you want to call it time limited with Glorious and Triumphant, because it was in the game for years, Obviously Glorious came first and then Triumphant was added later. But it's been in the game for so long. People had quite a long time to achieve these or to earn these cosmetics. And they still have, what is it, Red, 25 days left? They have another 25 days to pick up these skins. I think once March 10th comes, everything red and blue in regards to Glorious and Triumphant, that's it done. You should not be able to earn that anymore. And then if they bring CDOGs in, bring it in with new colors.
I think if they're going to be bringing Lucidi and DeMarco to help their dad fight Flameheart, they should do green and black ones to show their allegiance to Athena's fortune.
That's another good option as well. Yeah, because if you whenever let's say the green ones, right? Let's say you get the green recolors of Glorious or Triumphant. If you earn or if you unlock all of green and you see another, let's say if you see a Triumphant on the seas, that. Well, if Rare fill you in on the information, that they were there for Arena, and then they have all these rare cosmetics, so it kind of gives that as we were talking about before, Blubber, with I was there, that kind of event, So yeah, I'm happy enough. A lot of people don't like recolors in the game, but with a lot of Sea of Thieves is a cosmetic driven game, I'm always happy to get new cosmetics. Even if it's a recolor, it's nice to have something. It's nice to have an addition. But yeah, black and green additions to CDOGs would be fine. I'd be happy enough with that.
Equally, it's like the black and green CDOG is going to see the Triumph one and say, oh, they were there for Arena, and the Triumphant CDOG is going to be like, oh, you were there for when you lost the war against Flameheart. Haha, look, you suck at PvP.
Yeah.
But Blubber, anything to add on that one?
No.
So I take it you agree with us.
Totally. Yep.
Fantastic. So is there anything else anyone wants to bring up before we sort of wrap up the podcast then?
Nothing from me. No, I'm good.
No? Said your piece?
Yep. 100%.
Blubber?
The only thing I want to say is that I do hope Arena will come back eventually after a couple of years.
Just to touch on that. So obviously in the last 2 years, we've seen a lot of games as a service, a lot of events around games, I'll always say, as much as people dislike Fortnite do the best live events in any game. And even that's going back in history, they have done the best live events. I would love to see Sea of Thieves in the future because, they have the arena already there. If once they take it offline, but, if you're going to take it offline. But what they could do in the future, could you imagine like a week live event where they bring arena back and then to earn like this cosmetic or to earn something else, some other cosmetic. It would be nice for Arena to return in the future as a time limited event. Just exactly the same as like Fortnite would do with certain, like a Halloween event. They do Christmas events. It would be nice for Sea of Thieves to do events around, let's say if you do like a Flameheart event, or it would be nice to see Arena pop in for a week or two as a like a Sea Dog event, and then it's gone again. If obviously we've all accepted that it's going, but just to kind of I guess just to give us some sort of hope, it would be nice to know, or nice to see it return in the future in some sort of time limited event, just to make a quick return back and then out again.
It would be really nice. I'm going to be a pessimist, and I don't think they're going to do it again. But it would always be nice to have these, not just for Arena, but anything like that return as a live event. I think Rare misses out on that potential. But who knows what the future holds? We're likely going to see 10 years of Sea of Thieves, and we've only just started year 4. There's like 6.5 years left. 6, 7, about 6 years left. So anything can really happen in that time. And I think Rare are committed to those 10 years, which is nice.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end of the podcast. I want to thank our honoured guest, Yookay, for joining us today. And can you tell the listeners where they can find your content?
You'll find me on YouTube at youtube.com/UK. On Twitter, it's UKDW. And on Twitch, it's also UKDW.
So, we'll get those linked down in the description for you. And Captain Blubber, where can our listeners find you?
You can find me on YouTube. Just type in Captain Blubber. You should be able to find me. There's a big chance you're listening to this podcast on YouTube. And hey, congratulations. That's my channel. Don't forget that we're also on Spotify right now with the podcast. And there will also be a link in the description for the Salty Hippo Discord. So please join that.
Fantastic. And as always, you can find me on YouTube at Shiny Ray. Just pop my name in the search bar. Don't search Ashtray. Don't do that. And on Twitter at a Shiny Rayquaza. So come give me a follow, drop me a message, tweet me, whatever. I'll try and respond and be nice. But yeah, that's me. So make sure you give this podcast a thumbs up. That's always appreciated. And let us know your feelings about Arena. Are you sad this game mode is leaving, or are you happy about the increased attention for adventure? Please let us know. We always read your comments. So that's it. Thanks again, drink some grog, play a match of Arena while you still can, and have an amazing day.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.